Finally explained why the U.S. only uses French fighter jets on aircraft carriers. The French fighter jet Dassault Rafale was created from the ground up to be able to be deployed from French aircraft carriers. Having said that, there is a special version of the Rafale for Marines that's designed to the Rafale M. It is distinct from the models for the Air Force. The question is, why is this fighter jet using an American aircraft carrier? In what ways does this help the United States? For years, the U.S. and France have been in a race to make the best fighter jet, but with time, France has proved its competency in the field by developed fighter jets like the Rafale and Charles de Gaulle. Let's see how France convinced the U.S. to take Rafale and why U.S. uses non-U.S. fighter jets on its aircraft carrier. The Dassault Rafale is a French twin-engine Canard Delta Wing multi-role fighter aircraft that was designed and produced by Dassault Aviation. The name Rafale directly translates to gust of wind, and in more military context, the term burst of fire. The Rafale is designed to carry out a variety of different missions, including air supremacy, interdiction, aerial surveillance, ground support, in-depth strike, anti-ship strike, and nuclear deterrence. It is equipped with a broad variety of different weapons. In its marketing materials, Dassault refers to the Rafale as the omnirole aircraft. At the end of the 1970s, both the French Air Force and the French Navy were looking to upgrade and streamline their existing aircraft fleets in some way. France, along with the United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, and Spain, has agreed to collaborate on the production of a versatile, agile aircraft fighter called the Eurofighter Typhoon to cut down on the amount of money spent on research and development and to increase the likelihood of making sales. Following that, there were issues regarding work share, as well as differences in the requirements, which led to France pursuing its development program. Dassault constructed a technology demonstrator that made its maiden voyage in July 1986 as part of an 8-year flight test program, which paved the basis for the project to move forward with its development. The Rafale is unique from other European fighters of its time in that it is nearly exclusively constructed by one country. The majority of France's main defense firms such as Dassault, Thales, and Safran are involved in the construction of the Rafale, making it a uniquely French aircraft. The Rafale is equipped with 14 hardpoints and weighs 10 tons, when empty, 13 on the Rafale M. 5 of them can carry and release tanks and other big weapons. This is a maximum allowable external load of over 9 tons, or 20,000 pounds. Rafale can transport payloads up to their empty weight. Missions requiring buddy-buddy refueling can be flown in areas of the sky inaccessible to specialized and vulnerable tanker planes. The Rafale's superior load-carrying capability and cutting-edge mission system allow it to perform air-to-ground strikes, air-to-air attacks, and interceptions all in the same mission. The Rafale C, which is designed for land use, the Rafale B, which can carry 2 passengers, and the Rafale M, which is designed to fly from a carrier, are the 3 main versions of this plane. The Rafale, which made its debut in 2001, is being manufactured for use by the French Air Force and the French Navy for use by aircraft carriers. Rafale jets have flown combat missions over Afghanistan, Libya, Mali, Iraq, and Syria. Beginning in 2018, the Rafale got several modifications to its weapons and sensors. The Rafale is unique among non-American planes in that it can take off and land from U.S. aircraft carriers. Only the Rafale fighter plane can lift 2.5 times its own empty weight into the air. In other words, it can carry an additional 1.5 times its weight. Thus, with 6 missiles and external tanks, it can go without refueling for up to 3 hours and 15 minutes. In December of 2000, the French Navy's aviation arm, the French Naval Aviation, got its first 2 Rafale M fighters. On 18 May of the following year, just before the delivery of the 6th Rafale, the Squadron Flotile 12F, which had previously flown the F-8 Crusader, became the first squadron to fly the Rafale. There was no delay in Flotile's 12F's participation in Trident d'Or, which saw ships from 10 countries converge on the aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle for the event. The Navy put the Rafale through its paces in maritime exercise, simulating takeoffs and landings from a carrier, and intercepts with a variety of foreign aircraft. After nearly 4 years of testing and development, the French Navy officially put the Rafale M into service in June 2004. 7 Rafale Ms were sent to Afghanistan as part of the French Navy's Mission Heracles, the country's contribution to Operation Enduring Freedom in 2002. They made the trip over Afghanistan from the aircraft carrier, but the F-1 standard prohibited air-to-ground missions, so the Rafale saw no action. Rafales performed many patrols near the India-Pakistan border in June 2002 when Charles de Gaulle was in the Arabian Sea. Rafales launched by Charles de Gaulle attacked ISIS-linked targets in 2016. The Marine Nationale received 42 new jets. Some French Navy pilots are qualified to operate the Rafale M from U.S. Navy flight decks, and the plane is completely interoperable with U.S. Navy aircraft carriers. Rafale became the first jet fighter from a foreign navy to have its engine changed on board an American aircraft carrier on June 4, 2010, while participating in an exercise on board the USS Harry Truman. According to reports, senior military officials from the U.S. and France met in December of 2015 to explore the prospect of French naval Rafale M's conducting combat missions from a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier of the U.S. Navy as early as January 2017. This would make it possible for the French Navy to continue its operations against ISIL even while the Charles de Gaulle was undergoing its major repair, which was scheduled to begin at the beginning of 2017. It was the first time Rafales had conducted combat missions from a carrier in the United States, even though they demonstrated interoperability by taking off and landing on U.S. vessels. On a carrier, there were almost 18 Rafale M's, although some space was reserved for French Navy support workers experienced in maintaining the Rafale, as well as for replacement parts and ammunition. After completing a month of shore-based training at Naval Air Station Oceana, 12 Rafales from flotiles 11F, 12F, and 17F, along with nearly 350 support personnel, embarked aboard the USS George H.W. Bush in May of 2018 as part of Operation Chesapeake, a test of this interoperability. During this time, they took part in 2 weeks of carrier qualifications and exercises. Because both France and the United States wanted to establish large exclusive economic zones, they were interested in enhancing maritime security, law enforcement, and legal norms at sea. Therefore, working together to improve the capabilities of the French Navy could be seen as a natural and obvious choice, and both countries are still working on it. In December 2018, French Navy Chief of Staff Administrator Christophe Pratzuk and the United States Navy Chief of Naval Operations Admiral John Richardson met in Paris to announce the agreement to send French aircraft personnel and sailors to the United States. For over a month, people walking along the coastline in Virginia Beach caught sight of French Navy Dassault Rafale M fighter planes roaring into the air and out into sea from the Naval Air Station Oceana. The 35,000-ton, around 350 French naval aviators, flight deck crew, and maintenance workers from flight line crew went to Virginia Beach for carrier training and were set to fulfill carrier qualifications on board Charles de Gaulle after she'd undergone a significant 18-month overhaul. However, the sight of the USS George working alongside members of the United States Navy was not entirely strange to French pilots. The French Navy sends its pilots and navigators to Mississippi to take the same courses and utilize the same training jets as the U.S. Navy does to learn how to land on and take off from aircraft carriers. From a practical point of view, it's simple for a French fighter jet to integrate into the routine of a U.S. Navy air wing. For the duration of the war against ISIS, Charles de Gaulle has been an ever-present figure. For a short time in December 2015, the Charles de Gaulle was the lead ship of the U.S. Naval Forces Central Command Task Force 50 due to a lack of other American aircraft carriers in the area. Ties are already strong because the United States has been a traditional training ground for all French Navy pilots. The French aircraft carrier is the only one in the world that employs the identical landing and takeoff methods as the U.S. Navy. Joint U.S.-French operations have taken place in places like Niger and Syria. All these are the reasons why the U.S. uses French fighter jets on its aircraft carriers. This ends the video for today. What are your thoughts on this? Share it with us in the comments. Also, like and subscribe to the channel to see more fighter jet videos. See you next time.